Good morning. I see it finally arrived. 444. Yes, it still says 443 on my computer, which is why I questioned it. Although now it's 444 on the computer. Both of them. Oh my goodness. Woke up at 2:22 today and went into the meditation room. I got up at 3 o'clock and came back to the computer. It was 3:33. So I was in the meditation room about just slightly over a half an hour. Anyway, the title that I've chosen for today is Oneness, Individuality, Differences, Wisdom. From comments received, I can see that there is some confusion. Questions arise. How can we be one, yet individuals? How can we handle differences lovingly? What is wisdom? Some have perceived that I have become Bill Ballard's enemy, as well as the unnamed lady in Canada. This is not the case. As I see it, we are simply vibrating at slightly different frequencies, which is not at all a bad thing. Actually, it is necessary that those with different functions carry their own vibration. Otherwise, there could be no differentiation. Individuality is a primary function of creation, with each individual contributing to the whole. The problem is that we have been programmed to compete rather than cooperate. This creates dis-ease and other anomalies. We are being healed or made whole as we apply the wisdom that recognizes the beauty and perfection of differences. There is oneness and unity. At the essential level of creation, this is true. Within creation, it doesn't appear to be true. There appear to be, as I said, confusion. That's what appears, confusion. And when each is trying to make the other to be on their frequency and like them, then problems arise. But as I sat in meditation this morning, even before I got out of bed, I recognized the synchronicity of things. I recognized again, and sometimes I tend to forget myself, I recognized the importance of different frequencies. From the time that I woke up at 2:22 till the time that I got up at 3 o'clock, I had a mini dream in which I was a woman. And I had female genitals, and I was really horny. And I pondered that as it got time for me to get out of bed. And then when I came to the computer, there was Dustin Hoffman talking about his role in Tootsie, and I actually watched it. I don't even remember what channel it was on. It might have been Yahoo. But in any case, he wanted to be made into a woman for that role, but then he wasn't happy. He wanted to be a beautiful woman. And the makeup artist says, well, that's what we've got to work with, you know. It is what it is. And every woman would like to be a beautiful woman, and every man a beautiful man, or handsome man or whatever. And we've been made to compete. And when our body competes, in other words, organs compete and systems compete with each other, it's what we call disease. It's an anomaly. It's not the way it was created to be. But it's the experience that we create when we don't live in harmony. And I want to say something about Bill Ballard. Bill Ballard was one of my early friends when I first began the videos. And I didn't agree with everything he said. I never did. But I always liked him. I resonated with his energy in the respect that I thought he was honest. I thought he was sincere. I know some people think he was a hypocrite. I've seen the accusations. I don't agree with them. I don't agree with them. My friend in Canada, one of the things that she wanted to do when she came to Florida was visit Bill Ballard. She discovered me through Bill Ballard, as did many of you that are listening right now, and others that have listened. Bill Ballard frequently posted my videos or drew attention to my videos. Frequently. I would not have given an interview to him. I would not have done an interview with him if I didn't like him. I didn't know it was going to go where it went, and I was sort of surprised that it did. But it pointed out some things. From my perspective, he does have an ego. He hasn't transcended it. He demonstrated it. And that's okay. I'm not throwing stones. Believe me, I'm not throwing stones. I'm very human. And I embrace my humanity. And I don't claim to have a high level of spirituality. I do claim to have a little bit of wisdom. And I try my best to apply that wisdom. And I do understand that oneness is not about making everything the same and everything on the same frequency. It's not about that at all. That would be boring as hell. And we came here to develop an ego, not to kill it, but to integrate it. Not even to transcend it. Again, to integrate it. Bill Ballard has an ego. Ron Van Dyke has an ego, and so do you. And some of you have been trained to compete with your own ego, or to think that your own ego is the problem. No, your ego isn't the problem. Your ego's belief that it alone has the answers, that may be a problem, but that's just a perception. It's not the essence of the ego. The essence of the ego is to protect us in a world of differentiation, in a world where separation seems real, and to protect our individuality. It's really important that we do that, which is why I always advise people, follow your heart, trust your gut. Let the marriage between the mind and the heart take place, between the higher self and the ego take place. Bring these things into balance and harmony so that they work together and not against each other, so that there's cooperation within your being rather than a constant conflict, which is what we have. We've been trained to be in conflict, which is why we've created the world together that we've created, a world that's constantly in conflict. We need the darkness as well as the light. We need the positive energy as well as the so-called negative energy. It's just energy at different frequencies. And you need to resonate where you resonate. And that's so important and so wise. You don't have wisdom if you're trying to resonate with somebody else's frequency and it's not your frequency. That's just not wisdom. You've got to be where you are. You've got to be your own person. Because if you can't be true to yourself, you can't be true. Period. You're living a lie. Period. If you're not true to yourself. And so much of spirituality, so much of religion is about copying somebody else. It's about being someone else's vision of what you're supposed to be instead of your own. It's not what would Jesus do. It's what would I do if I was loving. If I was a loving being, which we are, what would I do in this situation? Not what would Jesus do, not what would Buddha do, not what would Muhammad say. You know, it's how do I feel? Am I courageous enough to be myself, to be the unique individual that I'm created to be right here, right now, in time and space, in 3 dimensions that have impinged upon them the 4th dimension, the 5th dimension, the 6th dimension, and ultimate dimensions. I mean infinite dimensions, probably. There's no such thing as just 3 or 5 or 12 or 144 or whatever. I mean, multiply the numbers. It doesn't matter. It's infinite. We are infinite beings. We come from an infinite creator, and we have infinite potential. But we are human. We came to have our human experience. And I will get back to listening to Bill Ballard again. Some of his videos were a little difficult when he started defending himself against what he perceived to be attacks from me. I wasn't attacking him. I challenge ideas. As I said in yesterday's video, I'm an equal opportunity sacred cow kicker. Now that phrase, that terminology, came from when I published my magazine. It was a magazine purposely provocative. I went where people weren't going at the time. I provided something totally different, where I would often present 2 different viewpoints on the same subject in the same magazine. 2 different perspectives, because I thought that that was important, and I still do. As I said, I'm an equal opportunity sacred cow kicker. I will attack Christianity. I will attack Muslim. I will attack Buddhism. I will attack the tenets of all the world religions at one area or another, because none of them are perfect. And yet each of them is perfect in its own way for people that are resonating at that frequency. That's right where they belong. So as long as it serves you, it serves you. And it's good. When you start feeling dissonance, it's time to go to a different frequency maybe. It's time to raise your vibration. But be in the vibration that you're at now. And don't be fighting yourself over it. Be accepting, yes. Be at peace with it, even if the peace is that you're feeling uncomfortable, that you're feeling pushed out of your comfort zone. Because we are all being pushed out of our comfort zone, every one of us. Bill Ballard, Ron Van Dyke, the lady in Canada, and every single human on this planet is being pushed out of our comfort zone. The elite are being as much pushed out as the non-elite. The 1% is being pushed as hard as the 99%, if you will. We're all being pushed out of our comfort zone. And we're being made, that's the wrong word, we're being offered the opportunity to see the value of cooperation, the value of recognizing unity. And unity is not something that we have to achieve. It's something that we have to perceive. It already exists. It has always existed. We have just been toying with the experimentation surrounding separation and understanding the differences, understanding that differences are essential in creation, because it would be boring otherwise. It wouldn't go anywhere otherwise. There has to be the interplay of masculine and feminine energy, of light and dark, of shadows and variations of light, of positive and negative energy, of north and south pole magnetism. It's all good. It's all part of creation. And I'm not about trying to make you like me. Because then you wouldn't be you. I'm not about creating a new religion or a New Age belief system. The New Age belief system isn't New Age at all. It's a lot of old stuff. And it may seem like I'm attacking the New Age, and sometimes I am. As I said, I'm an equal opportunity sacred cow kicker. I want each of us to examine our own lives and ask the question, am I in integrity to me? Am I at peace with being myself, being my own unique expression of God? Am I comfortable with that? And if I'm comfortable with me being me, it's much easier, I'm learning, to accept people that are comfortable being themselves, as I think Bill Ballard is probably comfortable being himself. I don't know. I'm not in his skin. I'm not in his mind. And I don't want to be. He's Bill. I'm Ron. And the lady in Canada, she's who she is. And she resonates more with Bill right now. Okay, that's her frequency. She doesn't resonate with me. That's my frequency. It's okay. Then we're not supposed to be together. At least not now. We're all going someplace other than where we've been. Our future is pulling us forward. And this is a beautiful thing. And I want you to see that. And I want you to get it. Get it doesn't mean that you have to see it like me. But be open. Keep your mind and your heart open to new possibilities. Because new possibilities are happening all over the place. And it's a beautiful thing. We are healing and becoming whole. We are changing the world that we're living in. And we ourselves individually, each of us, is going through massive change. Stay the course. When you lose heart, honor the fact that that's what you're feeling. But know that we're being lifted and led and directed and offered an opportunity to finally become fulfilled. That's the purpose of creation, to be fulfilled. Thank you for listening. Namaste.